In other news, reactions have trailed the federal government's lift of Twitter ban, which is effective from 12 a.m. January 13, 2022. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, while following the development, reports that there is a sense of gratitude in the public domain, especially for users whose livelihoods were affected by the suspension.
Okay, let me bottom line this for you by rephrasing a nursery rhyme. It is no longer fly away Twitter, but rather it is now come back Twitter, meaning the bluebird is back in town. Now, it is believed that most Nigerians, especially lovers of the platform, stayed up late at night to confirm if the lift on the suspension was indeed true. Well, I did too, and as expected, tweeting and retweeting have since resumed, with perhaps some still trying to figure out or recall their handles and passwords. But as for yours truly, I got it all figured out. The federal government's decision to lift the suspension on Twitter operations after over 6 months is coming on the heels of an earlier dialogue between Twitter and the government of Nigeria, leading to Twitter agreeing to fulfill all conditions which address legal registration of operations, taxation, and management of prohibited publication in line with the Nigerian laws. Some Nigerians who heaved a sigh of relief on the lifted suspension commended the federal government for the action.
Now that it's resolved, I'm hoping that we can have some restoration of what has been lost. A lot of people were thrown out of business. A lot of people simply did their business on Twitter, because Twitter has a huge demography that cuts across cultures and boundaries across continents.
I don't see that repeating itself. However, the case of fake news and the likes, there are ways that it can be managed.
For me, it's a welcome development. The stress of buying newspapers every day to be reading page by page, it has gone. With your Twitter, you just go to the trending stories.
So, shut of Twitter made me, move to and focus on Instagram and other options, which is good. I mean, it even helped me, I would say.
Recall that in June 2021, the federal government announced the suspension of Twitter after the social media platform deleted a tweet by President Muhammadu Buhari, which led to telecommunications companies eventually blocking access to Twitter after receiving a directive from the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) to that effect. As a result, research has shown that Nigeria's economy and Twitter lost billions of naira to the shutdown of the platform's operations since it came into effect. That's all in the past now, as both parties are off the table and forging ahead with the bluebird on one hand and caution on the other. So, get tweeting, Nigeria. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.